Hello, and welcome to our lesson on finding the fraction of another number. In this lesson, we'll build upon our intuitive understanding of fractions and dive into the process of finding a fraction of another number. Here's what we'll cover. We'll start by recalling what fractions are and how they represent parts of a whole. Next, we'll introduce the method for calculating the fraction of a given number. After that, we will run through some examples to apply this new knowledge and solidify your understanding. To illustrate why finding a fraction of another number is a useful skill, let's start with a simple scenario. Imagine your teacher tells you that you got 6/9 of the questions right on an exam containing 81 questions. To determine the number of questions that you answered correctly, we need to find 6/9 of 81. Here is the procedure to follow. First, divide the number that we're interested in by the denominator of our fraction. In this example, the number that we're interested in is 81, as it is the total number of questions. The denominator of our fraction is 9. So we do 81 divided by 9, which is equal to 9. The 9 represents 1/9 of our original quantity. Since we want to find 6/9 of our original quantity, we multiply 9 by the numerator of our fraction. 9 multiplied by 6 is equal to 54. So you got 54 questions correct in the exam. Let's look at another example to reinforce this process. For our first example, let's find 3/4 of 20. First, divide 20 by the denominator. 20 divided by 4 gives us 5. The number we're left with, 5, is 1/4 of 20. To find 3/4, we need to multiply by the numerator. 5 multiplied by 3 is equal to 15. Therefore, 3/4 of 20 is 15. For our next example, let's find 5/8 of 32. First, divide 32 by the denominator. 32 divided by 8 is equal to 4. The number we're left with, 4, is 1/8 of 32. Next, we multiply by the numerator. 4 multiplied by 5 is equal to 20. Therefore, 5/8 of 32 is 20. This procedure also works when dealing with negative numbers. Let's consider an example. Suppose our quantity is minus 24, and we want to find 2/3 of this negative number. First, divide minus 24 by the denominator. Minus 24 divided by 3 is equal to minus 8. The number we're left with, minus 8, is 1/3 of minus 24. Next, we need to multiply by the numerator. Minus 8 multiplied by 2 is equal to minus 16. Therefore, 2/3 of minus 24 is equal to minus 16. By following these steps, dividing by the denominator and then multiplying by the numerator, you can find fractions of any number, including negative numbers. In today's lesson, we explored the practical method for finding a fraction of another number, a fundamental skill in mathematics. We began by recalling the basic concept of fractions as parts of a whole. Building on this understanding, we introduced the step-by-step process of calculating a fraction of a given number. This involved two main steps. First, dividing the number by the denominator of the fraction to find a smaller, manageable part of the original quantity, and second, multiplying this result by the numerator of the fraction to determine the desired fraction of the original number. By mastering this technique, you can effectively solve a wide range of mathematical problems and apply your knowledge to practical situations, such as adjusting recipes or determining portions. Understanding how to find a fraction of another number is an essential skill that reinforces your overall proficiency with fractions and enhances your problem-solving abilities in everyday contexts. Watch the rest of the GCSE Maths course at Sophos Education.